What is up, my YouTube wonders? Welcome back to the Derm channel and welcome to the 2022 NFL Division Rankings by an idiot. Yes, I know week one has already gone by, and I wasn't able to record this before week one, so we already know what happened week one. We already know what kind of stuff. But I say that you could still predict everything because you can't tell nothing about the teams. Week one is the craziest week of the year. Once you get two, three, four, that's when it's like you kind of know where everything's going. So I decided, you know what? For my first main video back, let's jump into figuring out these division rankings. Who's going to be first, second, third, and fourth? So let's jump into that. But first, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hey, tell me if you disagree. Tell me your rankings down in the comments. Lego! So here we go. I did the NFC South as the Buccaneers first, Saints second, Panthers third, and the Falcons fourth. Here at our old reliable, the tier list maker. Let's be honest, Tampa, they're gonna win that division. They are the strongest team by a long shot. Tom Brady might be his last year. Wild to think. I have a feeling they're gonna want to make a run, see if they can get Tom one more. The football's so strong, I don't know if they will, but they are obviously going to be the top. And I think out of these three teams, the Saints definitely have the most potential to pull surprising wins out of nowhere. They do have a decent team. Really, quarterback with Jameis Winston's the biggest question offensively. Michael Thomas, I saw is looking good. Alvin Kamara is doing okay. That defense obviously does need some work, does need some good playmakers. But they're much better than the Panthers, who I think are going to flounder a bit. Not as much as as much as they did last year. But I still think they're going to flounder a bit. Baker didn't look too good week one. I know I wasn't going to use week one, but screw it. Week one already happened. I'm doing what I want in this video because I am God. But yeah, the Panthers didn't look good. Baker, I don't trust him. Like, come on, man. Even though he led the Browns to good places, he never looked that good. Like, his stats were always okay, but he never looked that good, man. In the Falcons, they have Kyle Pitts. They really don't have much else working for them. I think they could have an easy road to a top 5 pick. They could be fighting for that number 1 pick, going for either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young for that quarterback. All right, here with the AFC North. Hold on, oh god. Yeah, AFC North. Wow, maybe I'm smarter than I thought. I'm gonna go. Obviously, I think this is what a lot of people are saying. Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers. So, even though they didn't look good week one, I still think that the Bengals could come out swinging. Joe Burrow has an off week one, then comes out and just starts slinging the ball, going nuts, throwing touchdowns, having a great time. I think they have a good road uh to the playoffs, winning that division. I don't know if they're going to make another Super Bowl run. There's a few teams out there that could spoil the fun for them, but man, they're going to try. And I think second, the Ravens could give the Bengals a run for their money. A lot of people count them out and say, oh, they're just going to be second. It's just going to be a flat second. They don't have a chance. I think there's always a chance that they pull off a few extra wins that no one sees coming, upsets a couple teams, wins the division. I think they honestly could. I think they're interchangeable. I love Lamar. I love that offense. If they can stay healthy, I think they can be one of the top 5 offenses in the league. That defense isn't as strong, but I still think it's really good. Gets them should be able to fight for a wild card spot, if not winning the division. The Browns, garbage. If we were ranking them by how much I like the organization, Browns would be last because they're garbage. I'm sorry. The decisions they have made are bad. As a football team, I don't think they're going to be that good. They got a lucky win week one over the Panthers in a game they should have lost. But the Panthers are the Panthers and screwed it up. Also, the Falcons threw away an easy win. Had the game won and choked it like the Falcons do, which is so great, man. I love that they just choke everything. The Falcons out here like right? They just spend their whole lives choking, man. They choke away everything. But the Browns, I don't think are going to be good. But I think the Steelers are going to be worse. I don't trust Mitchell Trubisky. I can see Kenny Pickett taking that starting job week 5, week 6. And then them just running with that young quarterback. I don't think it'll be enough to get over the Browns sitting at the bottom of that division. Next, we have the NFC North. Yes. Which, God, this one, a little hard. At the bottom of this division is very easy. I think Chicago is a very big candidate for number 1 overall pick. And if they are, Justin Fields, I was hyped for you coming out of the draft, but boy, if they lose that bad, they're just going to ditch you so fast. I think I'm going with this. Okay, part of it's week 1. Week 1, yes, it is influencing this very big. But I don't trust that Packer offense to be better than what I think the Vikings can be. And they prove they can be. Dalvin Cook looked amazing. Justin Jefferson is top 3 wide receivers in the league. Easy. I say him, Jamar Chase, and Cooper Kupp are the top 3 current wide receivers in the league. Nuts. They are nuts. I think their quarterback... How do I say this? I don't like Kirk Cousins. I don't like him as a quarterback. I think he is serviceable for a couple years. But I don't trust him to be a long-term option. But I do think he can lead them to winning that division and honestly fighting for a Super Bowl run. They could honestly be on a Super Bowl run, and it's going to be nuts if they can do it. Packers second. Rodgers still looks great. But, oh my God. I don't remember that Christian Watson dropping that touchdown pass at the very beginning of the game just showed what this season's going to be for poor Aaron Rodgers. Comes back to the Packers, but I think for this year, at least this year, it's going to be a year of a lot of heartache from the passing game. I think Rodgers is going to look like Rodgers, but without having the receivers to back it up, I think they're going to flounder a bit. Not a lot. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. I'm saying they'll be like the 12th best passing offense for once. But I still think they have one of the best running games. Top 5 running games in the league. Aaron Jones and, now I don't remember his name and I feel bad. Their running back tandem is just elite. I'm not even going to look it up. It's just elite. And you can't say that it's not a really good running game. And I think that'd keep him second. I think the Bears are going to do so bad that the Lions are going to jump up a couple spots. They're going to obviously come up from being like the 2nd or 3rd worst team in the league to being like 8th or 9th. They're on the come up. Not a ton. It's not like they're making a huge jump, but they're making steps. 2-3 years down the line, I could be talking about them maybe pushing for 2nd or 3rd in the division. Constantly, not even thinking, maybe they could flutter down here. Not 2nd, maybe even pushing for 1st for the first time in forever. Boy, now, one of the semi-easier ones. Very easy, actually. AFC East. Buffalo, Miami, New England, and the Jets. Simple. It's just flat out simple. The Bills are them guys. They are the guys. Because they look amazing. They're going on a run. Hold on. Holy shit, that's bright. Sorry, I just realized I didn't have my front light on, my ring light, so you guys didn't get as much bright face. But the Bills are those guys. They look great. Miami is good, but they're not going to be as good as as the Bills. Not at all. They're going to look good. Tua, Tyreek prove that they can have something. I think New England's going to, for once, miss the playoffs. And it's going to hurt New England fans because they're not used to that. But I think Mac's going to have that sophomore slump. Now, I'm not saying Mac's horrible, bad, nothing. No, I think he's going to have a slump, a 1-year slump. It happens to a lot of quarterbacks. New England fans, don't overreact. You're just going to have to go through a year of, once the playoffs come around, you're not watching New England football at all. Maybe get yourself a decent draft pick, go in there. Maybe get yourself, I don't know, another wide receiver. An actual offensive lineman that you don't draft a first rounder that you probably could have gotten the third. Bill Belichick's a genius, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, you're a genius, but maybe you could have used a depth pick on that player. Like, but whatever. And the Jets, you don't have Zach Wilson, and you're gonna lose every game till he comes back. I'm guessing he'll come back like week 4, so he'll be 0-3. And then he'll have to try to pick up the offense. I'm guessing you won't get a win till like week 5 or 6. I don't know your schedule, but it'll be a bit. I think you guys won't be, again, top 5 pick, but 6th, 7th pick. Probably get a few crucial wins. You might even upset New England this year, which would be funny to see. I'm sorry, New England fans, but boy, you'd be pissed. NFC South, correct? No, East. South. East. NFC East. I'm going Eagles, Commanders, Dallas, and the Giants. And yes, if I was doing this before week 1, I would have Dallas at 2 without hesitation. But knowing what I know, with them having to run with Cooper Rush because Dak's out, that's going to make them worse. Even though I still say Dak is a bottom tier starter. If you ranked all 32 starters, including Zach Wilson, who's injured, all 32, he's bottom 10, man. Like, there's 22, I bet, better starting quarterbacks in the league than Dak Prescott. I don't like Dak. I think Zeke is okay. I like Tony Pollard a bit better. But man, losing Dak, Cooper Rush is not the answer, man. Maybe if you had to bring him in for one game, I think he can pull another rabbit out of his hat and win another game. Absolutely. I don't think he has a chance over 8 weeks. 8 weeks? I don't think so, guys. Commanders are going to be a surprise second. I think they'll miss the playoffs, obviously. It'll be one of the second places that misses the playoffs. I think the Eagles now have a easy road running straight to winning the division. Right? Shouldn't even be an issue as long as they can keep themselves healthy, run to win the division, have an easy playoff spot. Heck, could have 1, maybe 2 playoff wins. I think Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown are gonna look good. That defense still has a lot of its really key pieces. Darius Slay. But man, poor Cowboys. Oh, and Giants, you guys are just garbage. You have Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, and you guys are like, that's my God. And I'm like, well, your God is the worst, one of the bottom 5 quarterbacks in the league. The bottom 5 starters. I don't like Daniel Jones. I think you guys could also be in the run for one of those top 2 quarterbacks, and should. Daniel Jones is not going to be your savior. I think you need to get your next guy. But could have Saquon coming back, which could push you up here. I think you could pull a few surprise wins out because Saquon just goes nuts, right? Because, hey, I like Saquon. I think Saquon can be a good back. He hasn't shown it since his rookie year, but I think he can do it. Oh god, I wish I'd put them. I'm putting them last because this is going to be by far the hardest, and I need as much maximum time to figure out that one. NFC West. All right, I'm gonna say it. I know for a fact I'm gonna be seen as biased, but this is honestly what I think. L.A., Arizona, San Fran, Seattle. Everyone is hyping up Trey Lance, and I don't trust him. Especially when the team is keeping Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, we don't want him to go to another team. No, you don't trust Trey Lance. And you have offensive linemen walking past a on the ground Trey Lance and ignoring him. That's not a good sign, man. I don't think Trey Lance is that guy. And I think he'll start floundering and they'll have to bring in Jimmy G. Jimmy G's going to be Jimmy G and make mistakes. And by then, he can't right the ship in time. I think Arizona can be second. I also think Arizona could absolutely be third. And I think it all comes down to this Sunday. I don't think we can beat the Raiders. But I think we should keep the game close. And if we get blown out again, this might be a hit the alarm time. Seattle pulled off a lucky win. We'll talk about that in the AFC West. Geno looked crazy, but again, it's week 1. We'll see how he plays against that San Fran defense and Joey Bosa, who might murder the man. Drew Lock might get playing time because of it. I still think they're going to be bottom. They can also be in the quarterback race. They are one of, I think, Bears, Giants, and Seahawks and Falcons are 4 teams pushing for 2 quarterbacks. I think next year's draft could be nuts if one of these other teams, the Jets, the Steelers, whatever the bottom of the other ones, if one of them fall down that low, getting one of the top 2 picks, the trade offers that might be made could be nuts. There could be some big players by these teams being traded to try to get a quarterback. Rams are the obvious winners. They can be nuts. I don't think Matthew Stafford is elite. Elite is top 5. I don't think Matthew Stafford's top 5. Top 10? Yeah. I don't think Matthew Stafford's top 5. My top 5 quarterbacks, the elite quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. I would say over Matthew Stafford, I would also take Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, then maybe him. There are 7 quarterbacks better than Matthew Stafford. And I even think he could be lower. He's just a stat getter. He gets a lot of stats. He doesn't get results. You saw that in Detroit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe week 1 was a fluke. And they could come back, win the division easy. I still think they can. I still think they will. Moving on to the joke division. Jokes. They're all jokes, man. Jokes. There's not a single win in that division. And 2 of you guys played each other. Oh my god. NFC South, AFC South, what are you guys doing? Here's how I think this division is going to end up. Another team that, if they flounder, could be in the market for that quarterback. Just saying. Also, all these teams that I'm talking about that could be in the market for this big starting one of these young quarterbacks could also be in the Jimmy G sweepstakes next offseason. Because once he's not on the Niners, you know a lot of these teams are going to be calling him up. Hey, Jimmy, right? Seattle's offense isn't horrible. You might not need this super young quarterback. Bring in Jimmy G for a few years just to spite the 49ers. Oh. But this division's a joke. God dang it. You guys are a joke. I don't trust Houston at all. I think they're garbage. I don't think they really have any big upside to them. If they somehow beat the Broncos again, because they play them this week, I might actually die from laughter. Physically die. literally be dead, man. Because, God, I'd laugh so hard. I think Jacksonville has a slight bit more upside, even though they took our third string quarterback and paid him way too much money in Christian Kirk. And then they went and looked into the quarterback market again and got the former Raider. Fuck, I don't remember his name, but he's another speedy wide receiver. And then just paid another wide receiver. 2 wide receivers that aren't like number ones. You paid like low tier number 1 quarterback or wide receiver money, man. Too much. I still think that team will be good. I think they'll pull out more wins than the Texans will, not by much. Yeah, I think they can get third. Tennessee, I don't trust because I don't trust Tannehill. I think there's a chance that Derrick Henry could be regressing already. There's always the chance that he could regress this year, and then Tennessee just turns on the alarm bells. I think Treylon Burks can be really good. He looks good. He looked good in all the college film I saw of him. But, man. And then I'm giving Indianapolis the number 1 spot. I think there's a chance that there could be only one team to go over 500 in this division. It could be the Colts at like 9-8. And I'm not joking, man. They could go 9-8. And then everyone has to sit here going, how did they make the playoffs? And then they get whooped in the playoffs. I don't trust anyone on this team. Jonathan Taylor, if he can pick it up, but Matt Ryan is their quarterback, and Matty Ice, I'm sorry, not gonna be the guy. I don't think he'll be the guy. AFC West, the strongest division in football. And what I want to do is kind of crazy. What I want to predict is batshit insane. Even though it's just week 1. Big one. Third is the Raiders. Second is the Chiefs. First is Chargers. Fourth is Broncos. Give me a second before you start roasting me in the comments. I'm going to start from top down because the bottom's probably going to be the most pissed off because I live in Colorado. I love the Chargers. Everything. I love their roster. I like their coach. I love their quarterback. I would say he is one of my top 3 favorites because I can't pick one. If you ask me my 3 favorite quarterbacks in football, it's Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, and Josh Allen. Honestly, I think they're all amazing. I think they're going to be 3 of the quarterbacks defining our next generation with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Right? Those 5 are going to define football for the next 10 years. But I don't trust the Chiefs' offense, man. Yes, Mahomes looked good against us. But I don't know if he can keep it up this week against that Chargers defense with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Oh, man. That secondary. Derwin James is still back there. God, that defense looks amazing. That offense looks amazing. Austin Eckler looks amazing. Keenan Allen can still go. I think the Chargers are going to pull out the top of the division, maybe by a win or a tiebreaker. It's not going to be much. Ooh, the Raiders at 3. I don't trust Derek Carr enough, and I don't trust that receiver room. It's not the greatest receiver room in the AFC West. I would argue it's the worst receiver room in the AFC West. Close to the Chiefs, but man, Derek Carr is like a 50-50 with me, man. I know a lot of people call him the underground king. Like, he is the most, everyone doubts him, even though they shouldn't. But, man, I don't know if I can trust him. And the Broncos. So, right here at the end, I'm hoping I didn't lose you guys. I don't trust Russell Wilson with this team because I don't trust the coach. It's a literal stat in the NFL. No NFL head coach has had a winning record in their first season of being a head coach. This is Nathaniel Hackett's. And honestly, I don't think he'll have a winning record. He probably can get them to 8-9. Not saying they're going to be horrible, just not a winning record. And I think that'll push them and keep them in 4th. And man, it's going to hurt Broncos country. They're going to be pissed. But I'd say to them, don't lose your heads yet. Because I think your team is very close. What do I think you guys need? Offensive lineman. Your coach to pull his head out of his ass because it's shoved so far up there. God, the decisions are bad. And maybe a pass rusher. Randy Gregory was injured. I don't know. But I think that team is very, very, very close to a winning record. And hell, next year, I could be looking at you guys saying that is the absolute number one in the AFC West. But this is what I'm saying. These division winners, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Minnesota, Buffalo, Philadelphia, LA, and Indy. I have both LA teams, huh? LA's got some strong teams. And at the bottom, Falcons, Steelers, Bears, Jets, Giants, Seahawks. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Tell me in the comments what picks and what divisions you guys don't agree with, what you would change up about this list. But I gotta go edit this so I can have this get out for you guys. Boopa, boopa, boopa.